Hello, I am in eastern Idaho somewhere wandering around. I pulled over for a little bit because I wanted to kind of pay attention. Following up on my video from the other day regarding it's Sunday. I always forget the date, but it's after President Trump was convicted, found guilty, and nothing is turning out the way they hope. It's not expected. As of I read a couple of news blurbs this morning, President Trump has raised $70 million in just over 48 hours since his guilty conviction. Um, People aren't listening. So the deep state, the Democrats, the people who keep throwing stuff against President Trump for years now, that old playbook isn't working. I've been saying this. People like me have been saying this for years. They've always been a strategy in how to demonize politicians across the board for years and decades and decades and decades. You know, get them caught in a sex act, get them caught in this, get them caught. Well, people are waking up at another level, which is a whole other conversation I'll have at another time, and I've had those before. But people are more aware. They're seeing that bigger picture I always talk about. So the old playbook isn't working anymore. And that is what these people don't get. They keep doing the same thing, hoping the old playbook, and it's not. As a matter of fact, the more they throw at him, Donald Trump, and other people, the more people start to see through the shenanigans. And I'm talking about now Trump again, going back to the impeachment, Russiagate, which turned out to be a complete falsehood. Hunter Biden's laptop saying it wasn't true. Now it's all coming out. All these things that people are seeing now, which in turn, people en masse have lost complete faith in the mainstream media. That is why independent media, independent journalism has popped up this last few years and is now the main watched thing. Joe Rogan, Russell Brand, a lot of these podcasters that people are getting their news from. Citizens Free Press, something I get a lot of my news from. They're more non-biased, more middle of the road, telling the actual news, not the propaganda that the mainstream has become. So all this is part of what's going on. So with the guilty verdict, which I mentioned in my video the other day, it had to happen because there's that phrase, people like me see the bigger picture. People need to be shown, they can't be told. And they are starting to see now everything that's going on. I've seen dozens of videos this last weekend from black rappers, I forget their names, to other people who saying they're on the Trump train because he's getting treated like them. They're seeing through it. It's having the reverse effect that these deep state Democrats, whatever you want to call them, hope to, and they're getting desperate. You're seeing mainstream news starting to walk back a lot of things. They're starting to walk back a lot of things from COVID to all this. And they said maybe we might have gone over the line a little bit. It's too little, too late. The people are seeing it, and this is going to continue happening. So it's like I'm a broken record. See that bigger picture, because for what Trump was convicted for alone on the guilty verdict wasn't even a case. You don't need to even be a legal scholar to look at the case and understand that it was a complete kangaroo court. I mean, it just is. They're just out to get him, and people are seeing that. So precedent is being set. I've said this over and over. Precedent is being set. And I'm going to read something right now of a couple of things so you can understand this bigger picture I'm talking about. Okay, this is based on what they've thrown against Trump in the last few years. Presidents and former presidents can be impeached. Presidents and former presidents can be forced to reveal tax and business records. Keep this in mind. Presidents and former presidents lose executive privilege. Presidents and former presidents lose attorney-client privilege. This has all happened to Trump, and they pushed it. Presidents and former presidents can be forced to release private phone records and text messages. Presidents and former presidents can have their homes raided by the FBI. Presidents and former presidents can be subpoenaed by partisan committees. Presidents and former presidents can be repeatedly indicted and arrested. Presidents and former presidents lose their First Amendment rights to free speech, the gag order, remember that? Presidents and former presidents lose the right to a jury trial. The vice president no longer has the authority to question the validity of disputed electoral votes passed a couple years ago. The losing party no longer has the authority to submit contingent electors when results are disputed. Presidents and former presidents don't have presidential immunity. This has all been precedents that have been set, hoping to get Trump, but now that's in stone. So take that, what I just said, and involve the bigger picture. This is why Trump, and this is why the movement is so far many steps ahead of the other people. because they see the bigger picture. All that I just wrote is going to come, and the word we use is boomerang. It's going to come back to haunt Biden, Obama, Hillary, the whole gang. So keep that in mind. And a lot of people aren't laughing anymore about things that people like me are saying because they're seeing it. So keep that in mind. Boomerang and precedent set. Nothing can stop what is coming. It's going to be an interesting summer and couple of years ahead. So big picture. Precedent set, boomerang.